So hi everybody, I'm Helena Lavery, and this is my teacher, Ivan Nuñez del Prado. I'm a yoga teacher and I teach some aspects of the Andean tradition. And I learned it all, a lot of it from Ivan here. And I've asked him to come along this evening, this evening with me, but I think it's daytime with you in Peru, Ivan, to tell us a little bit about the ÑAWIs, because I'm going to be doing a workshop on it in a few weeks' time, and I'd like everybody to get a little bit of background into that. So Ivan, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us how you came to the Andean tradition?
Sure. I am Ivan Nuñez del Prado. I was born in Peru, in Cusco city, and I started my relationship deeply with the Andean tradition when I was 7 years old, when I visit a very known sanctuary back here in Peru, which is called Coyoriti. And it's a place of pilgrimage where many people go. So directed by a teacher, I went together there with my father. And at the age of 7, in that way, I started my practices as a Paqo. A Paqo is the name for a practitioner of the Andean spiritual art that we give in the Andes. It's a practitioner. So then I started, and since then I've been trained and learning for all these years, and eventually I started to teach, and that's how we met, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, about 8 years ago, something like that. But yes. You've been doing it much longer, right? How many years have you been?
I've been teaching this for 25 years now. I started in 1995. Almost immediately after I finished my training as a Paqo and I received the initiation, I started to teach. So it's been 25 years now.
Amazing. But everybody's now adding up 7 and 25. So I just wanted to then ask you, could you just give us a little bit of knowledge into the ñawis? So what are the ñawis?
Well, ñawi in Quechua means eye. So ñawi will be the plural for the eyes. Of course, we all know these 2 eyes that we open the very first day of our life. But in the tradition, they are 7 in total. So 5 more than we all know. And the ñawis are places in your anatomy, in our anatomy, where there's a special sensitivity. Okay, of course, the Incas are not the only tradition who individuate those parts in our body. Of course, you know about the chakra system. The chakras are a parallel system than the ñawis. Now, do we have big coincidences because they are placed in the same place? It seems like the anatomy of the human body has a special sensitivity in certain places, and eventually with attention, you can identify those places. So what the Incas did was to found those places which were especially sensitive, but they called them ñawi, which mean eyes. And the meaning behind is that we use our 2 eyes to see. And when you see, you receive certain energy from the environment, and this energy can inform you because the energy can carry information. It's like if you see through your window and you see a tree outside your house, the tree is not coming to you, but the light is carrying information that then you are going to be able to interpret, and then you're going to know that there is a tree outside. So what they did was to extend this idea of the eyes to talk and to work with these points as eyes. The idea is that in every one of these points you can tune yourself, let's say, with certain frequencies of energy. Every one of these eyes is related with certain quality of energy from the environment. And as it resonates with the environment, then you can receive energy and information from outside. But these 2 eyes are made to see the visible light. If you use the other eyes, you're going to be able to see other kinds of energies. And that is what the practice of the ñawis is about. to learn how to relate with these different kinds of energies and to be able to make yourself able to learn from the environment through the energy.
Mhm. Okay. And so, and well, what benefits would there be of doing that? Why would we do this?
Well, normally you have perception.
Mm-hmm.
And through your perception, through your senses, you will gather information of the environment. So you will be more and more aware of the things you have around you. You are going to hear things, you're going to see things, and then you are going to start to know what is happening around you. The idea is it goes beyond the normal senses, okay? It's not just the see or hearing, it is a little bit more. It's a more refined way of sensing the environment to learn. Okay, and the consequence of using the ÑAWIs is to be and evolve to being more and more aware of the environment and the things that are happening around you, of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this may eventually improve the quality of your life because you will have a closer relationship with the reality.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so, and for you personally, what have you experienced in your life with working with the ÑAWIs? In what way has it really benefited you?
Well, the first thing is, first you become more aware of yourself. When you start to get to know the energies that are in you, the energies that live in you, you can start to learn from yourself and start to clean yourself. Now, if you are more aware of your feelings, of your thoughts, if you are more aware of your body, you are going to start to behave in a more conscious way about yourself, to care more of yourself, to improve your awareness of self.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know your body and you make a strong effort to carry something, then you are going to hurt yourself because you are trying something that is beyond your forces. Okay? If you know your body, then you know how much you can carry. That's the idea. So the first step is to get to know yourself. And once you get to know yourself and how you react with the environment, maybe you can start to improve the way you connect with the environment, starting with other people, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's really about perception then, and it's about like how you perceive through these eyes will greatly improve your clarity in life. Really, would you say? Yeah.
So basically, will allow you to see more, to see better, different aspects of your life, and then of course will allow you to perform better in whatever you are doing in life, whatever you feel is your purpose in life.
And what about with nature and the connection with the ÑAWIs to nature?
Immediately after you learn that the ñawis are another way to connect with energies outside, you may start to connect with nature. One of the things that the tradition says about nature is that it's all pure and clean. So the energies that you can find in nature, that is common knowledge today. When you go out to nature, you feel much better. When you connect with nature, you feel better. So the tradition goes through that feeling. When you connect with the nature, of course, this is going to improve the quality of your energy. And then you will to start to feel better. And then the ñawis can help you to connect with nature. In the tradition, there are certain special affinities with these eyes and aspects of nature.
Okay, so I guess we should go through the ñawis then and have a look at like where each ñawi is on the body, and then maybe you could tell me some of the qualities of each ñawi, what attributes they have, and what parts of nature they would connect with. Okay, so
well, we'll start by the first one for us. The first one for us is called Siki ñawi. It's like at the tailbone. Now is the base. Siki means base. It's the eye of the base. So if it is open according to our tradition to the back, So these eyes looks behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And the Siki ÑAWI, or eye of the base, is a special to perceive your most basic energies, what we call the Ati. The Ati is the instinct. Okay, it's the raw energy that is in you, your animal part, your instinctive part. It's the most basic and essential energy that a human being has. But being part of yourself, this can be also a source of power. So the first eye is related with that, the energy of the impulses. And then in the process of learning, you can learn how to tame your impulses first, and then how to empower them.
So would that be a little bit like your drive? You know, your impulses would be, you know, it like and makes you move forward in your life if it's working properly, or is there if it's weak there, are you gonna feel like
Normally,
you
the impulses,
act on your impulses a bit too much?
yeah,
Sorry.
normally the impulses are really strong in every one of us. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the instinct to survive. The instincts are the driving energies that try to make us survive. It's a survival power. Okay, one of them, for example, is the impulse of aggressivity, aggression. This quality of energy lives in us, and of course, everybody can tell. From time to time, we get so mad that you want to kill. Okay, of course, we are civilized, we don't do that. But from time to time, we feel that impulse, it's aggression to the limit. You know? And this makes us go out of ourselves, puts us out of center. So this aggression, when you feel that energy, that's the energy we are talking about.
Mm.
The training
Similar.
is to clean that. For example, if you know the tantric traditions in the East, those traditions are related to deal with the sexual energy, or more properly, what is the libido, the living energy, but sex is part of that. If you are in a tantric tradition, you are going to use these energies, and then you are going to clean them and elaborate them to create and to build awareness on yourself. In the tantric traditions in the East, when you build up, this can help you to get enlightened, to evolve yourself to a very high level of person. In the Andes, we are focusing, especially focusing one of the impulses of survival, to eat, or what is called the trophic impulse. We all have this very, very strong. As soon as the baby is born, even before opening the eyes, the mouth is looking for food.
Mm-hmm.
And we spend our life like that. Okay, eventually we have problems with that because then we want to stop, but no, life is like that. So this impulse is survival. The impulse to eat is one of the big tools to survive. When you learn how to control that and how to mild that, this can help you to evolve. Some people decide that what they eat is what can define the quality of their life. You can decide to be vegetarian, or you can decide to be vegan, to eat some kind of things, to eat in certain ways. So when you are doing that, you are taking control over that impulse. And you are giving shape to that energy, establishing limits and knowing what happens to you when this happens. When you do certain things, your body is going to behave in different ways. Your mind is going to work in different ways. So you can use this as a tool. That's part of the impulse. And for us, this is the Ati. The Ati is the energy of all impulses. And if you connect with them, you can retrieve certain amount of energy, power, that then can help you to do things, to build things. It's just energy, which is the capacity to do things.
Mm-hmm. So that's the Siki ñAWI.
That's
and would
how the
you,
Siki ñAWI.
from the Siki ñAWI, is there so it connects with in nature? Where are we connecting with?
The Sikinyawi has certain special affinity with the energy of water.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exclusively, it's not only that. So, but it's a particular connection with water. If you want to do it like that. Water for us is one of the big spirits of nature. One of the newstas for us is female. So Mama Unu, or Mother Water, is the spirit of all the waters. So the Sikinyawi is especially fine and has certain resonance with the water and the water's energy, of course.
Mm-hmm. Great. So that's our Sikinyawi.
That's the first one.
That's the
second
first
one will be the Cosco.
Mm-hmm.
Cosco in Quechua means navel. And the center of the navel, or the eye of the navel, is called the Cosco Ñawi. This one is related with what we called Kuyay. Kuyay means passion or affection, if you want to define it better. Okay, affection is a certain kind of connection we have. It's a certain bound with things. Okay, when you talk about somebody and he describes himself as a passionate person, this means that this person has a drive in the direction of certain kinds of things. You are heavily connected with things. And if you want to define the kuya, the passion, you can really relate it with possession. It's a way to own things, but by possessing them, okay, to have them for you. The kuya is that. This kind of bound that we can create with things or with people, and it has certain energy because it can be a driving power, of course, but it needs to be clean and it needs to be mild, okay? And in these days, for example, many people mixes passion or affection with love, okay? And that's when people get confused, because then they become possessive with the ones they love. They want to own and control the other ones, but love is not that. It's because we are mixing that. So the kuya, the passion, is that. It's a very strong connection with things that is about to possess, to own the things. If you clean the way you relate with things, this bound, then it can be a driving power. This quality of energy, the tradition says, that is the energy that is going to allow you to make things that need a long effort to be able to achieve them. Okay, for example, now I am writing a book, but it's taking several years now. And some days when I'm sitting in front of my laptop to write, the only energy I found is the passion for what I do. And that's what keeps me going day after day for years sometimes. That is when you are able to clean your passion. Your passion can be a source of energy when you want to do things that take a long time to perform. And in order to achieve your goal, this can help you to reach that place. Okay? And aggressivity, for example, is related with that too. What triggers your aggressivity is the attachment you have with certain space. Okay, your territory. If somebody breaks into your territory and your space, you feel, okay, because you are bounded to that. So you don't like people to get in your space. That is the kuya. Okay, you establish boundaries and limits. You know where you are and which is your limit. And you feel very strongly when somebody trespasses into your space, right? This is the kuya too. And you can mild it down. You can make it softer to be more accepting with other people, with other things, to be able to make yourself softer to relate with things without crashing with the things you have around.
Yeah.
And the element or the energy that is related with that is the energy of the earth. Or kalpa. Okay, sorry, alpa. Mama alpa. Mother Earth is the energy that is related with the Cosco. When we talk about Mother Earth or Mother Water, we are talking about spirits. We deal with them as persons, as you relate with people. In our tradition, we attribute certain more vitality to these energies. So we call them mother or father, and those are the main spirits that we relate with.
Mm-hmm. And also, like, you connect with the Nustas as well through these Ñawis.
The
So,
Alba and Mama.
Puka Nusta?
Yes, of course. Whenever you relate with female spirits, we call them Nustas. Nusta means princess. So in the nature, every female spirit will be called a Nusta. The two main ones are water and earth. But of course, there are many other female spirits. Just name it. Any other female spirit for us will be a Nusta.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the water, it's the Wilka Nusta, the black energy.
Wilka Nusta is one specific spirit of water. Wilka Nusta is one of the Nustas that lives in the Andes. Wilka Nusta is the river that travels from the Titicaca Lake until Machu Picchu, so it's like the spinal cord of our tradition. All the space that was ruled by the Incas is touched by this spirit. But it's just one of the Nustas, one of the female spirits. It's a very important one, but it's not the biggest one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So and then the Puka Nusta would be for the earth, for Mama Alpa, and the Costco Ñawi.
Okay. The Costco is the second eye. And
then we go up to the Sonko.
The heart. Sonko. Sonko means heart in Quechua, is the heart's eye, or Sonko Ñawi. The power that is related with the Sonko is, of course, the Munay, the power of love and will. And love and will is the best translation we were able to do to Munay. When you learn about the teachings of the Munay in the Andes and you're trying to translate into Spanish or into English, you need two words to translate that, because love is not enough. If you want to translate Munay, you have to use love and will together. So that's the best way we found to explain what Munay is. The idea behind is that your love is supposed to be under your will. So it needs to be addressed. The idea is you can take your feelings as they are. Your feelings are like a fire, raw, but it's a raw energy too. And you can learn how to mild them down and how to address them. That is the Munay. So Munay is being able to control your feelings, to control your love, and being able to address it to the right person, to the right place, in the right moment. That's what Munay can mean.
Okay. And here we connect to Taita Inti, Father, Son.
Yes. The Apu, in this case, is a male spirit that is more affine with the heart, is Taita Inti, or Father, Son. Can be seen as the fire, no? But in the case of the tradition, we talk about Inti. San is, let's say, the spirit of the fire.
And Kori Nusta?
This is one of the aspects. The Kori Nusta is one of the aspects of the earth, the female spirit. So just to be golden doesn't mean that it's the same kind of energy.
Okay.
Then the Sonko is, of course, the training with the Sonko is the training of the Munay. And the Munay energy, one of the most important ones, and according to the tradition, is one of the goals in your development. In your life, you are supposed to take care of your Munay and evolve it and make it stronger. The tradition says that eventually the Munay energy, or the energy of love, is what can perform a physical healing, in general, a healing in yourself or in another person. So it's one very, very important factor in our tradition. It's the healing power by itself, the power of Munay.
Okay, and then we move up to the Kunka.
Kunka. Kunka means neck. Kunka is the eye of the neck, and basically is related with the Yacha. Yacha is the intellectual knowledge. The spirit that is related with the Yacha, which is the expression of your knowledge, will be the air, or Father Wind, Taita Waira. Father Wind is one of the 7 main spirits that we work with in the tradition, and is male, and is related with talking and communication and the power of talking. One of the main skills that you can achieve if you know how to handle your communication is what we called rimai. Rimai means to speak with power. So if you learn to use your talking and you learn to carry power with it, you can do rimai, which is speaking with power. It's a charismatic way of speaking. It's a power talking, etc. Things that you can use to touch people, to inspire people, to guide people, or to teach them, of course.
Cool. And what is the side effects if you don't like work with it, like, and if your kunka is weak, you know what?
Well, communication. If your kunka is weak, you are not going to be able to express. You're not going to be able to tell your truth, to express your beliefs, your convictions. You will not maybe be able to talk in public. If you want to speak in public, maybe you are going to feel blocked because you are not good in driving these energies. You don't know how to do it. So the cleaning of these energies and then the empowering will be able to allow you to talk with power, to be successful in your talking and expression and communicating and sharing information with other people. That's the power of the Yacha. Information and eventually knowledge.
And so, okay, so then we come up to the top 3 eyes. So you have your Panya, Loke, and Kanchis ŇAWI. So can you talk about like each one individually? Is there like, can you separate them like that? Or
first, this part is where the power of the Kawai is based. Kawai means to see in our tradition. One of the first teaching you receive in the tradition, as you know, when you start your training, your teacher will tell you, well, you need to learn how to see things. The very, very first thing, the very first request I have in the tradition, back when I was 7 years old, the master sent me and my father to this festival that I mentioned before of Coyoriti, and our task was to go there and see what was happening. Okay, so the first challenge for a Paqo like me, like you, when you start, is to learn to see. Open your eyes and try to see what is behind things, trying to understand how the energy moves, trying to see what is behind the more tangible reality. So the Kawai, the seeing, is something very important for us. And the Kawai is built by these 3 eyes. As you mentioned before, the right eye, which is more related with what we call the right side of the tradition, or is the mystical part. The left eye, or Yoke ŇAWI, is related with the left side of the tradition, which is the magical part. Mystical seen as the attempt to reach and get in touch with energies outside yourself. And mystical is the way to pull these energies to you, drag these energies to you in order to do the magic. The magic is to solve daily life problems with supernatural powers. So these 2 sides are like complementary. In certain moment, you are going to look for some energies, and then you're going to look for bringing them to you in order to do things. It's a practical use of the energy. And that's the difference between right and left. Then,
so can I just hold you there?
Sure.
The Panya, the right eye. So even when you were saying that, your hand was moving away. So it's like outside of your bubble. And then the Yoke, your left eye, would be kind of like coming back into your bubble. Is that the way it is? Or
more than literally parts of your body, the tradition says that with these 2 eyes, you can see 2 ways of the reality. The one is more expansive, is going out, and the other possibility in your life is to contract, concentrate. It's like pulsation. There are moments of expansion and there is a moment of contraction. So the two moments in your life, or the two aspects of the tradition that we call, are two moments and the different things you do. Sometimes you need to go outside and reach energies and reach things, and sometimes you need to go inside and bring these energies to you to then integrate them to keep doing things. So it's like life is like a pulsation going in and out. You know? And the tradition says that those are the two aspects of the tradition, the two sides of the tradition, one right, one left. One is the mystical and the other is the magical. But this normally we are doing this all the time, okay? Expanding and contracting, reaching and then pulling energies. That's life. Okay? And the tradition says that with these two eyes, you can see the most tangible part of the reality. Okay? Then with the seventh eye, or the conscious ÑAWI, which is located here, which is in the East called the third eye, but the position is the same. In the tradition, you can see the spirits. This eye is to see the supernatural world. So the non-tangible thing, the things that are beyond the natural and tangible. The spirits and gods, and have the visions and have, okay, all the most fine parts of the reality that are not so obvious can be seen with this eye. So when you connect the three eyes, then you can have a vision of the world. And this vision will contemplate the two sides, the material part of the reality and the metaphysical part of the reality, because they both are together all the time. They are living together and interacting together all the time. You cannot separate them. It is just one. The thing is, sometimes you cannot see the other part. You're limited to the most obvious things, or the most tangible things that are seen with these eyes. The other, it is good to see what is beyond that. And when you're able to see the whole, then you develop what is called the kawai. The kawai. Kawai means to see. You're able to see. The kawai is the one who can see, the seer. And part of the tasks of the tradition is to make yourself a seer. One of the goals of the tradition is to be able to see the world clearly and then understand what's happening outside yourself and around yourself.
And conscious means seven.
Seven. Yeah. So it would be the seventh eye. If you count from the Sikhi up, this will be the fifth, and then the sixth, and then the seventh eye is the conscious ñawi. Those are the seven eyes in the tradition, the seven ñawi. So behind that is a really nice idea. If you can see with your two physical eyes, and you can appreciate a large part of the reality and the beauty and the colors and the lights, there's the possibility to see more in deep in the reality. There are other levels of energy, the ones we mentioned before, that can be seen with other eyes, which are not these two. So these other 5 eyes beyond the 2 that we already know are going to allow you to see better, to understand better. So when you open and you exercise with them, what you are going to develop is something like a system of perception. You are going to be well connected with the reality, and you are going to be able to appreciate it more, to see better, and then to understand better. Eventually, this is going to affect what you do in life. Because if you are more aware of the things, the consequences of your actions are going to be deeper, are going to be bigger. And this is the task in life. It's about to make a better life, a good life, enjoyable and powerful.
And when with connecting with nature through these 3 eyes, where can you go with those 3?
Yeah, with all the eyes.
Yeah. Can you connect, like, I mean, I know in my workshop, I'm going to be going to the cosmos with those 3. So
one particular connection is that this one, the 7th eye, especially in the tradition, is related with the spirits. Okay, and with the relationship you have with the spirits and eventually with God.
Mm.
Okay, so if you want to be a seer of spirits, if you want to learn from the spirits, you need to use this eye.
Mhm. Mm.
And if you want to talk about colors, we understand that this eye, the seventh eye, has the violet color.
Mhm.
The violet has a very high frequency of light, and the violet has the quality of energy that is related with the highest quality beings or the highest quality factors in the reality, the spirits.
Mhm.
Then coming down, your two eyes, the panya and the yoke, they have the color of your eyes. What
Mhm.
color are your eyes?
Green. In this light as well. Reflection on my glasses.
But they are
Green.
green. So your eyes will be green. Mine will be like browny something like that, okay? So this is a very personal thing. The tradition tells you that the color of these two eyes is the very, very color of your own eyes.
Mhm.
Okay, each one is unique. So the whole system of eyes is unique because these two are unique. Nobody can change you because these two, your eyes are only yours, only for you.
Mhm.
Then the Kunkanyawi is related with silver as a quality, as a color of energy. The eye of the neck will be silver. The Cosco, the eye of the heart, the Sonko Nyawi, the eye of the heart, will be related with gold. We mentioned the sun before, the spirit of the sun is golden.
Mhm.
The Cosco Nyawi, or the eye of the navel, will be related with red energy. The red energy, or Kausai, is the energy of the earth.
Mhm.
Finally, the first eye, the Kanchis Nyawi, the first one, is related with the black color.
Mhm.
Is the energy related with the impulse, the energy of the water.
Mhm.
So they also have colors. So we attribute to them colors and different qualities of energy. If you are a seer, if you are a person who can have this kind of sensitivity, sometimes you can see the energies and then recognize those colors. And when you see those colors, you are going to be able to know which eye will be the best to use to relate with them.
Mhm.
It's a bit of practice, but eventually you can do that too.
Mhm.
Now, when you start your work with the ÑAWI, of course, the most essential work with the ñawis will be to open them. In the tradition, we activate them with the Misha, which is our power bundle of things. And then you can use your Misha to activate them. And we have your Misha. Well, I don't have mine with me, but oh, that's a Misha. Okay. So you can use the Misha to open those eyes first.
Mhm.
It means to just activate them, give them some energy and start to move the energy around. Sometimes to clean them if you want. Some need to be cleaned more than others, but the Misha can help you to clean and open and activate those eyes as the first step. After you use the Misha to activate the energies of these eyes, you can start to connect.
Mhm.
Use those eyes to connect with the different energies. This is one of the first steps in the practice of the tradition. Use the Sikinyawi, the eye of the base, to connect with the water. Like if it will be a root that goes into the ground and then pulls up the water. Use the Cosco, the navel, to connect with the earth. Again, like a root that you can use to pull energy from the earth, the red quality energy. And then using the metaphor of the plant, because we are a traditional planters, the sonko, the heart, will be from where you grow like branches and leaves to collect the power and the energy of the sun.
Mhm.
And the kunka will be where you grow branches and leaves in order to connect the power of the wind.
Mhm.
When you connect with these four apples and you merge those energies in you, this can activate your process of evolution, the traditions say. This is when you, for the first time, are ready to connect with what is the highest quality factor that is in you, that we call the Inca seed.
Mhm.
The Inca seed is, or the Inca muhu, is a spiritual factor that lives in you and is, let's say, all your human potential. is the best qualities, the best thing that you can develop as a human being. When you found out this inside yourself, and then you connect with the environment through the energies of the apples we mentioned before, and you make this energy flow through yourself, you can start to express the quality that is in your seed. You can start to manifest certain qualities that are higher than you are now. Okay, in the ritual way, many times we do that to make this energy flow through ourselves, and then we send this up and we visualize a flower. That ritual is called putui. And the putui is the first expression of yourself, of your inner self. In relationship with the apples, you can really make a flower of energy, make this flow through your inner self, and then express it as a flower that you visualize. And this is one of the exercises of the tradition.
There's so many ways that you can work with the ÑAWIs, isn't there? Like,
absolutely. You can just, as being centers of perception, just name it. You can use them to connect and retrieve energies. You can use them just to feel, like if you're just looking around. You can use them to pull energies and make them part of you, to absorb energies from you. One of the top uses of the ÑAWIs is what we call the huchamihui. It is performed with the eye of the navel, the Costco, and is to eat heavy energies. Hucha is the heavy energy of the world, your own heavy energy, of other people heavy energy, blocks and okay. And these that we identified as heavy are the heavy parts of the reality that you can start to clean. You can eat this energy and digest it, as the traditions say, and transform this heavy energy into light, and then spread the light in you or share it with others. So that's another really, really powerful use of the Costco, of the ÑAWI of the navel.
Yeah. Well, that pretty much sums it up. Like you have like, oh my goodness, there is so many ways. You have ÑAWI Kichai, which opens the eyes of the body.
ñAWI Kichai is the ritual to use the Misha that you just showed to open and activate the eyes. Okay? And after you open them, you can start to see around, to connect with the things. Then,
and you have the belts as well then?
Sorry?
Then you work with the belts as well with that same ritual?
That's also a progression with the ñAWIs. In the work with the ñAWIs, there are two initiations, let's say. One is what opens certain kind of exercises and ways, which is just the activating of the ñAWIs. Maybe you remember when you did the Hatunkarpa in Peru, the initiation in Peru. In certain moments, we use our Misha to activate your eyes so you can start to connect with the apples and the nustas. That's the first step. And then this goes to certain ritual steps and practices, and it takes you to certain point. Later in the practice and in the training, you are going to weave belts or chumpi. Chumpi means belt in Quechua. So the belts are energy belts that are going to connect the different eyes, and they are going to make something like a dress for you on your skin that is going to allow the energy to flow from one ñAWI to the other. Those energies are in you from the beginning of your life. They are always there, okay? When you activate the ñAWIs, you are making yourself aware of them. Sometimes we are not aware of things. And when you start to work with those energies, then you can go one step forward. To build the belts or the chumpi are going to be making connections to connect these different eyes, to integrate them in one system. So all these energies in you are going to be aligned and connected. And they're going to start to interact with each other. They are going to harmonize each other. I was saying before, many people today mixes possession and control with love. Those are two different things. And according to our tradition, The possessiveness is in your belly, is in your navel, and the love is here. If you build a belt and connect these two, then they are going to interact. And then you are going to be able to see more clearly what is love and what is passion. So you don't mix them. Passion is important in us. Passion can, as I told you before, passion is a fuel, it's an energy that can help you to do things long term and go night after night working into something, preparing something, writing something until you reach a distant goal. But love is different. Love is not attachment. Love is free. If you really love somebody, you set the person free. And if you stay with that person, it's because you both freely decide to be together. And that's wonderful. See? So when you build the connection with the Nawis, you can clean yourself. You can understand yourself better. Okay? For example, your impulses, your aggressivity. If you connect that with your mind, okay, as happens to many people who is impulsive. Many times you do something impulsively and then immediately after you realize what you did and you regret that. Why? Because it arrives to your mind, you analyze the thing and logically you conclude that it was wrong. Okay, and feeling guilty for the things you do because you are impulsive is a consequence of the lack of connection between these two energies that are part of yourself, because you have impulses and you have your mind. But when they don't communicate well, they can have misunderstandings. And normally we feel very guilty because of our mistakes that are related with the lack of this connection. So when you are able to connect these Nawis, the energy is going to harmonize. You don't have to cancel it. Okay? You don't have to repress it. Okay, you don't have to repress your impulse. You have to just learn from it. You have to understand the things through it. And when you bring the other power, that is the other extreme to the energy you are dealing, this is going to harmonize the thing. And you are going to see more clearly. You are going to create harmony in you. And when you create harmony in you, this is, believe me, the first step to do something which is the biggest thing to start to love yourself. Okay, when you see yourself as you are and you accept yourself as you are with all your parts, you can really start to love yourself. But if you align yourself and connect those centers and you stop being impulsive, stop being possessive and trying to control everything, you are going to regret less things. You are not going to get mad with yourself so often. Then this is going to create the right situation to love yourself a little more. Okay? And then when you start to love yourself, the consequence will be bigger self-esteem, of course. One is self-love, the other is self-esteem. How much you appreciate yourself, how much you see of yourself, of your great powers and skills. So it's all one thing. But when you start to take the pieces and you understand every piece and you clean it and connect it one by one, you are going to discover something wonderful. And from that place, the wonderful you are, the wonder of the reality you are, you can start to relate with the rest of the cosmos. Our training as a Paqo is to start to do that with ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to clean ourselves, to connect our parts, to make ourselves one in order to love ourselves. And then you can start to love the universe, you can start to love the apples and the new stars, the reality, other people, etc. From yourself first. And this is a little bit the path of the Nawis. To see yourself, the others, to see the reality, to appreciate it better, and then to act in consequence for the things you see. So you don't have to believe. It's not a matter of fate. Okay, my tradition is not a tradition of believers. We are more people who is willing to try and to touch and to tell what is there, how this tastes, or how this feels. Okay, that's the spirit. I mean, I have nothing against the people of faith, but my tradition is more than a tradition of faith, a tradition of experience, of direct connection with the reality. If you are aware of yourself, then you are going to be able to connect with the reality as it is, with the real thing, with the real deal. And then, of course, the things you do in relationship with the reality will be better because you can see how the things are. You will see better.
Mm-hmm. You get to try everything yourself and get a direct connection so that you can make your own choices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you are well connected with your inner self, with your seed, with Inkamuhu that we called, if you are connected with yourself and you are open to touch, then you are going to be able to judge well and to do the best thing for yourself and to know what you are doing step by step to the life. And that's the idea. The idea for our tradition that is called by itself Kausai Puri, which means to walk consciously through the living energy world. It's in there. Consciously means knowing what you're doing, knowing what you're seeing, relating with the real thing, and trying to get to know. If you really get to know many things together, those are going to give you wisdom. And that's what we all want, right?
Amazing.
That's always nice.
Yeah, I think I got a better understanding myself. Now I want to go and rewrite my whole course. I'm just joking, but thank you.
That's not necessary.
Thank you so much. That was really, really helpful. Really, really useful. And I hope everybody else will find that as interesting.
Okay.
So thank you.
You are welcome.